Jenny here again from Age UK Trafford. Another exercise video for you today, and today's video we are going to use a little bit of equipment just to provide us with a little bit of resistance with some of the activities that we're going to do. Now this video can be done as a segment in its own right, or it can be added to the other videos that we've also produced, which are available on our website, to create a little bit more of a longer routine. Same rules apply as always. Consider safety, make sure there is nothing for you to bump into or for you to hurt yourself on. Make sure you're wearing the appropriate clothing and you have something to drink nearby should you need it. Now, we mentioned some basic equipment at the start, and when I say equipment, it is very basic and nothing more, in my case, than a soft, squeezy ball. If you haven't got that, I'm sure around the house somewhere you will have a rolled up ball of socks. That will do the job just as well as that will. Okay, so not everyone will have one of these, but I'm sure at some point a rolled up pair of socks, or even a rolled up flannel, or a small piece of material, anything like that, anything that you can put in your hand and will provide you with an element of resistance. So I'm going to put my socks to one side and focus on using the ball here. Now, the ball, as we said, will be used to provide a little bit of resistance for us. Now, before we do any activity, as we know, make sure you are fully warmed up. So we've done a warm-up video on our website. There's an element of that within there. So make sure that all of your joints and muscles are fully warmed up, ready to go for this next stage. Okay, so we're sitting nice and comfortably in our chair. We're not slouching, we're thinking about our posture, sitting nice and tall, shoulders back, feet nicely planted on the floor as well. Now, to start off with, all we're going to do, I'm going to refer to it as a ball, but whatever it is that you're using, we're going to put that ball in the palm of our hand and just get used to the feel of it. Okay, so we're just going to try and move it around a little bit. So you'll see that my thumb is also helping to move this around. Now, for some of you, you may well have a little bit of difficulty doing this because of arthritis in your fingers, your knuckles and so on, your wrist as well. If it is that you struggle to hold the ball up, feel free to tuck your elbow into your side and take the weight off it a little bit. So as you can see, all we're doing is just moving the ball around in a circular motion within our fingers ever so slowly. Okay, now you've got it one way, stay in that hand and see if you can go the other. This one, as you'll probably see from my movements, is a little bit trickier. Okay, so we're going the other direction. Most people will have a favoured hand and a favoured direction. So it's a bit more of a challenge to go in the opposite way. Alright, hopefully we've not dropped it too many times, but if you do, take your time picking it up off the floor. Okay, no rushing. Great, okay, let's see if we can do the other side. Now, I've used my right hand, I am right-handed, so let's see what we can do on the other side. So, let's get it going one way first. Okay, so you can see that my thumb is helping to support, just moving it round, and just using your fingers and your thumb to help move that ball around. Okay, that's good. Thinking about your posture as well, no slouching. Okay, let's go the other way. Not possibly quite as easy this time, so again you'll see my thumb just supporting the movement of the ball around. Good, excellent. Okay, let's go back to your original hand. And this time, we're going to try and take our fingers off the ball in turn. So we're not going to let go completely, otherwise the ball's going to fall on the floor. So in turn, so I'm going to start off with that one, then we go to the middle one. Then it's not as easy with that one, which you will all find in a minute. Little one and thumb as well, okay? And we go back. That ring finger's always a bit tricky. Middle finger and index finger. Okay, I'm trying to move the ball so that you can see from the different sides. Good, and then always a struggle with the ring finger and the little finger as well. So keep going. and the thumb as well. Try and do them all in turn, and we'll give it one more go with each one, working our way back round. Oh, that troublesome ring finger. Okay, and let's swap sides, see if we can do the same thing again. So again, if you're dropping the ball or the ball of socks, whatever you're using, it's fine. Take your time picking it up. Don't be bending down too quick and lifting your head up too fast either. So there's little finger, the stubborn ring finger, middle finger and index finger. Then we go back to the thumb. Okay, doesn't look much of a movement when you're doing it, but actually triggering each of these fingers in turn is using your brain in a slightly different way. And also for those again with difficulty with the fingers and the hand joints, it poses a little bit more of a problem. Okay, one more turn around. I'm hoping that by me turning the ball you can see where we're up to, and last one there. Okay, so we've given our fingers a good start. Hopefully this should be a little bit more warmed up. Okay, now for the next one, all we're going to do is get a feel for kind of the density, I guess, of the ball, how squishy it is really. So put the ball or whatever you're using nicely into the palm of your hand, and all you're going to do is try and keep your elbow locked into your side. That's not going to be moving at all yet, and you're squeezing as hard as you can and releasing out. So obviously, depending on what you're using, you will find a greater resistance. This one's quite tough, but you equally, if you struggle, find something that's that's got a bit more of a give in it. So again, we're still thinking about our posture, still sitting nice and tall, really giving it a good squeeze. Take out any of your aggression on it if necessary. Okay, nice and strong, and then releasing your fingers out. Good. Excellent. So 2 more on this. Again, nice and tight, and you might feel it along your forearm as well, and that's fine, that's normal. Okay. Alright, let's see, same thing on the other hand. So again, if you keep that elbow tucked in, it means that your arm's not going to move too much. Now for me, this is in my weaker hand, so probably not able to squeeze it quite as tight, but giving it a good go anyway. Good. Excellent. So really good workout for your fingers, but also all the way down this forearm as well. Great. Okay, let's do 2 more. Smashing. Okay, let's put the ball in our other hand again. This time we're going to squeeze and move the ball at the same time. So again, try and keep the elbow locked into your side, and then you're only focusing on a smaller movement. We're not throwing our arm around or anything like that. So we're locking our elbow into our side, and what you're going to do is squeeze the ball up to your shoulder and release it back down. So squeeze up to your shoulder and release it back down. Obviously, if your mobility means that you can't get the ball all the way up to your shoulder, it's fine. Just go to the point that you can. And if you need to have a rest, again, no problem at all. You work to your own abilities. And release down. So squeeze the ball up and release down. So again, good for your fingers, and then all of your muscles all the way up your arm as well. Release down, squeeze the ball up. So it's a nice gentle movement, nothing jerky. Squeeze the ball up and release it down. Okay, let's give that side a rest. Let's go on to the other side. So again, thinking about your posture, get yourself set, get that elbow tucked into your side if you can, and then we're going to squeeze the ball up to your shoulder and release it down. Squeeze up and release down. So it's a nice controlled movement. It's not jerky, and we're not letting our arm flop. We're in control of that movement. So squeeze up and down. Good. Squeeze up Release down. If you need to have a break, that's fine. Have a little bit of a rest. We'll just do 2 more. Squeeze the ball up. Release it down. Squeeze the ball up. And last one. Release down. Good. Okay. If you need to just give yourself a bit of a shake, if you're finding that your fingers or your arms are just aching a little bit, that's fine. Take your time. Okay, so let's go back to our original hand. Now last time we went up to the shoulder of the hand that the ball was in. This time we're going to go across ourselves. We're going to go to the opposite shoulder. So we've got to have a little bit of a think about this. This might not come quite as naturally. Okay, so again, get your positioning right. Get the ball nicely in the palm of your hand, and you're going to squeeze up to the opposite shoulder and release down. So same principle, just going to the opposite shoulder. And this just works your muscles in a slightly different way. So squeeze up and release down. So again, nice and controlled, no jerking. Squeeze up across, release down, good, up, down, and across again, squeezing the ball and releasing it down. Excellent. Now, can we do a couple more? Come on, let's have a try. All right, last one. And squeeze, release down. Good. Okay, so what we've done on one side, we've got to do on the other. So again, get your positioning set and think about where you're going to take the ball. So we're going to go across ourselves again. So we're going to squeeze up and across and back down and release as well. So squeeze up and across and release back down. Good. So up and across, release down. Excellent. Good. And go at your own pace. Give that ball a real good squeeze as you're taking it up, but then release when you're coming down. Let's go for 2 more. Squeeze up last time and down. Okay, good. So we've done straight and we've also done across. Going to do a bit of a combination of the two now. We'll see whether you're really paying attention or not. Okay, so ball in your original hand, and this time we're going to alternate. So get yourself set. It's probably one of these things, don't overthink it, because if you start overthinking it, it all goes terribly wrong. So let's have a see. So squeezing the ball up straight and down, and then squeezing the ball across and releasing down. So we're going to go back straight again, and release down, and then across ourselves, and again release down. So when you've got it, don't think too much about it. Okay, squeezing as we go and releasing every time. Now across and down, squeeze up and down and across, down. Good, doing really well. Excellent. Let's just do one more on each. So straight and release, up and across and release. Excellent. Okay, give that one a bit of a wiggle if you need to. Okay, give your fingers a little bit of a wiggle, get them loose as well, get the blood coming back. Okay, let's go to the other side this time. So again, we're going to get ourselves set. We'll start off straight. So we're going to squeeze the ball up straight, release down, and squeeze up and across, and release down. Straight, down, squeeze across, and down. Good. Nice rhythm there. Excellent. Still squeezing every time we take our arm and the ball up, and releasing when we come down. And again, don't worry if you can't get your arm straight up to your shoulder. You just do it to the point that you can. Okay. Really good for your mobility in your hands and your wrists and your arms. Okay, one more on each. So squeeze up, release down, and across, and release down. Good, that's excellent. So we've done a little bit of work kind of on our fingers and our wrists, our forearms, and up to our shoulders as well, which is great. The principle behind some of those exercises is really for strengthening these finger joints. Now, every time we made that movement, we were squeezing and releasing. Obviously, if we're able to keep our finger joints as loose as possible, it helps us with our everyday activities, opening stubborn bottle tops, jars, maybe even the fine motor skills, perhaps putting necklaces on and those kind of things as well. So all really useful for the everyday tasks that you have to do, probably without thinking about it. Okay, so we've looked at the top half. We're also going to use our piece of equipment, whatever it is that you're using, and we're just going to do a little bit of activity lifting our legs as well now. Okay, so we've got the ball and we're sitting nice and comfortably in our chair. If we're able to, all I want you to do is just become familiar with lifting your leg and straight back down. So you can only see the top part of my leg, but my foot is going flat on the floor. Good. Okay, now on the next one we're going to try and introduce the ball into this movement as well. So we're going to take the ball underneath our leg and back up. Transfer the ball over, underneath our leg and back up again. So swapping around. So basically big circles with the ball underneath your leg. Good. So we're trying not to rock when we do it. What we're trying to do is really focus on just lifting your leg nice and steady, straight up and straight back down. Again, if you drop the ball, it's fine. Take your time picking it up and you will feel it on your muscle here. Okay? Good. Let's do two more. So again, there's a little bit of a coordination required for this one. Good. Okay, let's give that one a rest. But what we do on one, we've got to do on the other as well. We've got to make it fair. And again, you may have one side that's a little bit more mobile than the other. That's fine, just do what you can do. Okay, so we'll start lifting our leg up. Just 2 or 3 times just to get used to that movement. And then we're going to introduce taking the ball through and back round. So again, the ball's travelling in that circular motion. Nice and steady. We're not gripping onto the ball tightly this time. We're literally just passing it from one to the other. Good. Keep going. You're doing really well. Okay. And 2 more. Let's go there. And last one. Excellent. Okay, so we've passed the ball in a circle round one leg and the other leg. The step on from there, and we'll see if we can do it or not, is making the ball move in a figure 8 in between both of your legs. So it's probably easier if you hold the ball in your better hand and you go down first, then that starts off the figure 8. Okay, so have a watch, just work it out as best as you can, because you will have your own sort of ways of coordinating. So we're going to go down, back up, down, and back up. So we're creating a nice figure 8 and we're moving our legs in turn. We're alternating that movement and in turn swapping the ball over. So each motion really is a diagonal, if you like. Don't get too tied up, literally don't get yourself tied up in knots over it. Do what you can do. If this is too much of a struggle, just go back to the original one. It's not a problem at all. Okay, just add in a little bit of variety. And you might be feeling a little bit out of puff now as well, and that's fine, because we're working our bigger muscles and our heart rate will be increasing just that little bit. Okay, I can certainly feel it in my legs now, so let's just do a couple more. There we go. And let's stop there. Excellent. Really well done. Okay, there are quite a lot of other activities that we can do with the ball within our hands and our feet as well. Now, I'm conscious doing this video, you can only see the top half of me. If you could see all of me and I was able to show you stood up, the other one that I would do is stood up or sat down, it doesn't matter. The ball would be on the floor, so the ball's on the floor there, and you would put your foot on top of the ball. And in a similar way as we did with our hands, just push down with your foot and the ball provides some resistance there. So we can do some pressing with our foot. And also being very careful of our knees on this one. If you place your foot on top of the ball and move your foot in a circular motion, that also works our legs as well. But again, if you've got issues with your knees, then just be very careful with that one. Okay, so that arguably will be the next video, or some of the other activities that we'll do in some future videos. But for the ones that we've done today, as we've said at the beginning, you can add those onto the sections that we've already done. Or if you feel that mobility in your fingers and so on is a little bit more of an issue, then you can obviously do this as a standalone. It's very simple to be able to do whilst you're watching the television and all of those kind of things as well. So thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you found some of the exercises of benefit. Keep your eyes peeled, we'll be doing some more videos in the future, and in the meantime, look after yourselves and we will see you very soon. Bye bye.